Welcome back, everyone, to Onyx's Rambling Reviews. My cat is joining us today. So do you guys like my hair? I did it last night. Have fun with it. I don't know how many colors we're picking up right now. I think it should be fun for a while. This wasn't planned. He decided to sit there. I'm still trying to figure out how to get rid of more background noise, so hopefully it's better this time. I don't know if it will be. Also, if you haven't guessed what today's movie is based on everything around me, minus the cat. Yeah, today's movie is Supergirl. It's a cute little dress. I think it's cute. It's nice and stretchy. It has pockets. I love a dress with pockets. And today's movie is Supergirl. Now, before we get into Supergirl, we're going to talk a little bit about Superman, the one that came out last year. It's back here. I don't know if you can see it behind the cat, who is definitely going to be in the way through this entire recording probably, but it's back there. I watched it the night before we saw Supergirl. It was one of my favorite movies last year. It was probably in my top 10. So good. And I'm still salty that Nicholas Hoult didn't get a nomination for Best Supporting Actor as Lex Luthor, because that performance was amazing. Also, David Corenswet is such the perfect Superman. He really gets like that down home country Midwest vibe. You know, he feels like Superman just as a person. Great movie. When they tease Supergirl in the post-credit scene, there he goes. They tease Supergirl in the post-credit scene, I was very excited because I like to see more female-led superhero movies because we don't really have a lot of those that have done well, unfortunately. The first Wonder Woman was okay. Apparently, Wonder Woman 1984 was trash. I still have yet to see that one, partially because of people calling it trash. Black Widow was too little too late, in my opinion. And at least in this current world, that is the most that we have for female-led heroes. There's like the older ones with Linda Blair as Wonder Woman. And I don't know who played the original Supergirl in that movie. I was also never seen that. But we don't have a lot of female-led superhero movies. We need more of them. Oh, we did have Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel was good. I liked Captain Marvel. The Marvels itself was not good. Why can't we do a good sequel to a female-led superhero movie? That seems to be the other problem. Huh. Interesting things that I'm coming to think about. But yes, so in terms of what we have on our set, I got my little Crypto plushie. I bought him last year for Superman. I got Supergirl and with Puppy Crypto here, the Superman movie, and I got the popcorn bucket. There's another person on the popcorn bucket. We'll get to her. There's a reason I didn't put her on screen. And then I got my cute little dress. I couldn't find my Superman and Lex Luthor pops. They're somewhere. My house is kind of a mess. I really like this movie. It wasn't as good as Superman, and that's not to say it was a bad movie, because Superman, I gave it 4.5 stars. I think after rewatching it again, it is 5 stars. It is 5 stars because David Corenswet's so good, and Nicholas Hoult is so good. Ugh, it's such a good movie. It's a good comfort movie for me, honestly. I gave Supergirl 4 stars because I enjoyed it as a female-led movie. Apparently Hideo Kojima liked it based on what somebody posted on the internet. And just like, if he watches a movie and he said he watched it, he does not like it. If he says anything about a movie, he apparently likes it. And he said some things about this movie. And I appreciated what he said, and we might get into that if I can remember what it was. I forgot to bring the iPad down again, unfortunately. But let's talk about some of the actors in this movie. You do have David Corenswet in there. Because Superman has some brief moments. He is in there, but he's not the main character. He's barely a side character. But he's there because, obviously, he's Kara's cousin. They're cousins. So, it makes sense that he would have some level of role in this movie. Love him, he's great. It is Millie Alcock that plays Kara Zor-El. I really liked her as Supergirl. There was some controversy. She said something about once you're in media as a woman, everybody starts talking about yeah, we need to stop talking about women's bodies like we have any right to say anything about them. And men's bodies? Nobody's bodies. If it's not your body, you have no say, unless you are the person's doctor. In which case, fair. You have some right to say whether or not somebody should gain or lose weight or something. Only if you are somebody's doctor. And it's for health reasons. Other than that, nobody should have any say over how somebody looks. Besides themselves. I thought she looked great. I loved her, personally. Next, you have Jason Momoa as Lobo. I don't know how to categorize Jason Momoa anymore. He is in so many things, and sometimes the roles make sense, and sometimes I'm like, you needed a paycheck. And sometimes I'm not sure which ones are he needed a paycheck and which ones are he actually wanted the role. I think he actually wanted the role. This one was a fun character. It kind of reminds me of the character that he played in the Minecraft movie. Kind of similar vibes. I'm liking him, though. I am liking Jason Momoa. I'm interested to see what he'll do in the future. Yeah, no, that character was interesting. I don't know much about the characters in general here. Comic fans, please don't trash on me for not knowing things. I am doing my best. Then you have Eve Ridley as Ruthie Marie Knoll. Okay, this is nothing on the actress. I thought she did good for what she was given. I hated the character. I hated that character. And I don't think you're supposed to, like, really like her. You're not supposed to hate her. She just never redeemed herself for me throughout the movie, and we'll get into that as we talk about the movie. You have, yeah, no, we're just gonna leave it at that. I forgot to write down who plays Krem, who is he's our main villain here. Unfortunately, I forgot to write down that actor's name. Points to that actor, I ended up hating that character. If I hate a character because of how they're written, I think the actor did a good job at portraying that character. If I hate a character, why is there another spider down here? And the pest people had come recently. How annoying. It's not even a big spider, it's just this tiny little thing. Where are they coming from? Where is their nest? I don't want to find it. I hate spiders. But if I hate a character because the writing is bad or something, and it's a character that you're supposed to like, then you have a problem. If you hate a character that you're supposed to hate, that means the writing was good, first of all, and the actor did a good job portraying it. At least that's my opinion. That might not be entirely true, but that's my opinion. The effects were good. They weren't as good as Superman, I think. There were a few scenes where I think the CG was a little weak. Not horribly bad. Definitely not like Masters of the Universe, where I feel like it was kind of intentionally bad at some points. But it didn't hold up to the level that was Superman CG. But that also could just be me thinking that. I'm trying to look for more critical things now. I'm working on being a better movie critic. Mostly I just like watching movies, which is why very few times when I do one of these reviews, I end up saying I hated a movie. So far this year, there's only been one I think there's been two that I actually hated. No, I don't know if I actually hated Wuthering Heights. It did cause me to feel a lot of things, though. I did hate Animal Farm. That's the only one that I can say for sure that I have hated this year. What else do I have to say about this movie? I don't have much else to say. I have one other thing to say. It needed more crypto. It needed more crypto. I understand. I don't know how to word what I want to say because I'm not sure what I want to say. So not knowing how to word it isn't going to help me when I don't know what it is that I want to say. So I guess we'll just move on with our lives. Also, this is the first movie that I reviewed in my new notebook. It looks exactly the same as my old notebook, but that one's now full. So let's get into our review recap. Spoiler alert! I took notes. They're not as plentiful as some movies, so this might be a little shorter, because mostly I wanted to watch this movie and not get caught up in my notes. I really like this movie. So you know that one of the trailers was Crypto licking that bottle and it knocks over, and there's that whole sequence, and then he pees on the newspaper. That's our opening sequence here. I think movies using their opening scene as trailers can work because it really doesn't give anything away in that scene. And then you add a little bit more on here or there, but nothing that gives too much away. I think it can work. Also, I watched this in IMAX, and when it hit the number 4, it did the thing where it makes the screen bigger, and it made me happy. So Crypto knocks over the bottle, pees on the paper, and she's like, "Good job! You managed to get most of it on the paper this time." She's not trying to train Crypto at all. And what's funny is the newspaper, it's front page and there's Superman there. I don't know what happened, what the headline was, but Superman's on the headline. I also love the fact that somehow she's getting, like, the newspaper from Earth. Well, I guess sometimes she is on Earth. She has a home in Metropolis. Apparently it's Supergirl's, Kara's birthday week. We don't know exactly what day her birthday is. It's just her birthday week. When did birthday weeks start becoming a thing? Instead of just celebrating your birthday on the day, you celebrate it through the whole week. I respect that. I love having all the attention poured on me on my birthday. I am very much that kind of a girl. I definitely take that day to do whatever I want for myself, and nobody's allowed to stop me. As long as it is safe, sane, and consensual and legal. She's partying. She's going to a whole bunch of planets that have red suns, getting drunk, having fun, partying, having a good time. At some point, she gets so drunk that she just need to get to a yellow sun because she needs to sober up. And she starts playing fetch with Crypto in space. It's very cute because she can exist in space if there's a yellow sun, apparently. We see in one scene when she's not near a yellow sun. Well, she's almost near a yellow sun, but it hasn't quite, like, hit her yet. So she starts space actually starts affecting her. And then we're seeing a little farmhouse just in this valley. It's by itself. It's a cute little farmhouse. Kind of feels haunted maybe a little bit. It's not. Just a couple having dinner. There's a little girl there. That's Ruthie. The little girl's Ruthie. Her parents, her dad makes swords apparently, and apparently they are very good swords, great quality. People want them. Her mom had made pie. Krem shows up, our villain. He has many metal balls throughout his face, like multiple dots. He is an interesting looking character. I don't like him. The problem is, it feels like he's supposed to have charisma, but he doesn't, and it works in the way where he acts like he does. Or here's the thing, he feels really skeezy. That's what it is. That's what put me off of him. He just feels skeezy, and something just doesn't feel right about this guy. It's not like a pervy kind of skeezy. It's just like, this man's just a creep and a weirdo. It's hard to describe. He comes in, he eats the family's pie. It looks like it's probably like a blackberry pie if I had to guess. It's like a dark purple on the inside. It could be like huckleberry or boysenberry. I don't know what color boysenberry is. My guess would have been blackberry. Child is watching everything, and that is, the child is Ruthie. And then at some point, I guess she has a brother. We're never really mentioned that there's a brother. He pops out to scare her, and Krem kills her. Him. Not her. Ruthie survives. He kills the brother. And he kills the parents. There's a lot of murder that happens in this scene. There's an explosion. The parents are dead. The girl's alone. Kara is at another bar. She gets shots, and they're like flaming, which is cool. Never had a flaming shot. I'd love to try that sometime. I don't drink frequently, but every now and then I like a good drink. She is very drunk at this place. This is the bar where apparently she's turning 23. So hopefully things are better for her at 23. That's what she wants. She wants to find a home because, well, Krypton doesn't really exist anymore, which is unfortunate. But she could have a home with Clark. They could start. Obviously, they're not gonna because they're cousins. At least she has a relative. She's not the only Kryptonian still alive. There is that. This is when Ruthie enters the bar. Kara is dancing and rocking out to some music on the jukebox. I think she plugged in her iPod. She has headphones for it. These are crappy headphones, by the way. It's not like when you look at Guardians of the Galaxy and you see Peter Quill with his old Zune or his tape deck and like the crappy, like over the ear, really cheap looking headphones. It makes sense because it was like 80s and he didn't come from a wealthy family and like they didn't really have great headphones back then. Kara ended up on Earth at a time where she would at least have decent earbuds. She wouldn't have these really cheap looking headphones. They annoy me to all hell. I think I get the vibe they were going for, but she would have had nicer. I feel like she would have had better headphones. Personally. The girl enters bar. Krypto ends up unplugging the jukebox. It's Krypto and he is not house trained at all in any sense of the word. And Ruthie wants somebody to help her find Krem and kill him. She wants to kill him. She just needs help finding him. She is offering up the sword that her father made. Only upon the death of Krem, though. At her hand. Hi. Hello, friend. I don't know if you can... Oh, he's probably going to jump up. Yep, okay. There's a cat now. Hopefully he's not too in my way. And hopefully he doesn't bonk the mic too much. We're gonna find out. I think I wrote exciting about Bleach. Exciting about Bleach. That doesn't make any sense, does it? Some dude just ends up taking Ruthie's sword. And he just leaves the bar with it. Kara, after Krypto, just kind of looks at her and just like, whine. It's like, kind of makes her go after the dude to get the sword back for the girl. Because she does not want to get involved. She's just like, no, that's not for me. I'm not the hero type. She does get the sword back. And she fights this monster. Oh, it's exciting about bleeding. She was very excited that she was bleeding. She's like, hey, look, I'm bleeding. Not Bleach. I don't know what he's doing. Because Red Sun, she can actually get injured and hurt and everything. I guess even like, a Red Sun just makes them like a normal human. Why are you trying to eat my hand? And Krypto does end up getting out and joining the fight. Which does help, and he joins the fight by biting the dude's dick that took Ruthie's sword. Maybe Kara trained him a little bit. But they get the sword, they get back to the girl, and they're like, nope, I do not want to be involved in this. But here's your sword back. She goes back to her ship. Clark video calls her, and like he actually finally connects and isn't just leaving a message. She's brushing her teeth while she answers the call. And he's just like, you could come back to Earth. You have a home here. Little girl shows up, it's Ruthie, and she starts begging Kara to be the one to help her find Krem and hunt him down and all that. And they end up out in a field. I don't know exactly what they're doing out there. Probably just Krypto being cute dog. And Krem shows up. I don't know exactly how he found them. actually. He's just there. And he ends up stealing Kara's ship after shooting Crypto with some kind of poison that will paralyze him slowly over 3 days and eventually kill him. My note here was if Crypto dies, I riot. Spoiler alert, Crypto doesn't. Yeah, so spoiler alert, Crypto doesn't die because I didn't riot. But she still refuses to help Ruthie, even though now she also needs to go after Krem because Krem keeps the antidote on him. But she does not want to deal with this child following her around. She's just like, no, I'm doing this my way. You are too much for me. So she's at this. Apparently, there's like space bus from planet to planet. I guess so there's a bus stop that you are very cute. Yes, so there's a space bus stop that she sits at, and she gets picked up on the bus. And Ruthie ends up on the bus. I don't remember when Ruthie got on the bus. We didn't see her, but she did. Crypto apparently was a stray dog that she collected on Krypton. We'll get to that in a flashback later on. And then these bus robbers arrive. They're cool looking. And they kind of like teleport from place to place with some kind of device. They kind of strip the bus for parts and they take its engine and all that. And they start stealing things from all the people on the bus. Kara, despite being still probably desperately hungover, does end up being quite smart here to some extent. They get to her and Ruthie because they have this little robot that can like scan a person and find the valuables on them. They end up taking the sword, but as they're going by, Kara grabs like the thing that helps them like go swoop swoop appear in one place after using it. Kind of teleporting, but it's interesting. She steals that and she uses that to bargain with them to get the sword back. It doesn't really work and a fight breaks out and she ends up blocked in space, and she was wondering how close they are to a yellow sun, and it's just like, no, and she's like, can we get any closer? And she's like, if I had an engine, I could. Also, the bus drivers are great, they're funny, so there's that. They're not close enough to yellow sun. She is in an airlock, and she's trying to put on, like, the spacesuit, and she's just about to put the helmet on when one of the bus robbers notices and ejects her, and she's now in space, and she's slowly freezing because the yellow sun isn't there to like make her Supergirl yet. We also see that earlier in the movie, we see that she does have the Supergirl suit in her ship. She's just not wearing it. She's just wearing normal clothes. So she's now ejected into space, but the yellow sun is slowly rising over the planet that they're in front of, and it gives her powers, and now she good now. She just goes now. She got her strength. She can exist in space, laser vision, fly, all this. She dismantles the ship of the bus robbers. It's very impressive what she does. And then she ends up flying the bus to a planet. And then she interrogates the robbers who she, I guess, put on the bus. She had tied them up and they're not on the bus. Trying to figure out where she can find information on Krem. Planet that they go to is a planet where I guess it's not safe to be a woman or a female, or especially a young one. And they go there, they go to this bar, and there's really only men there. There are a few women. One of them is barkeep, the other two are, one of them's playing an instrument, the other one's singing. So they aren't really patrons of the bar, they're the entertainment. And everybody's kind of just like, woman. Kara kind of gets away with it because she has Ruthie and they kind of think she's there to sell the kid. She's not! But she kind of plays it up like she is to get people to give her information, and somebody offers to arm wrestle her for the child. And she's about to go at it, and when this much bigger dude like hip checks this guy out of the way, sits down, and puts his arm in. He's like twice the size of Kara, and she just snaps his arm. She easily wins that arm wrestling. I guess the world doesn't really know that she's Kryptonian. She's not really advertising that she is, and there's not really any way to know that she is, especially since there's only 2 of them left in the entire well, as far as we know. As far as there might be more, I doubt it though. Whatever, that is a whole other thing. The bar is very armed. She carefully puts Ruthie off to the side, like puts a table to like protect her, and you kind of see the bar fight as Ruthie's just kind of cowering under a table. And she's like, Ruthie wants to be this vicious killer to get her revenge for her family. This girl cannot deal with a bar fight. How is she going to deal with killing a man? I don't think she has any formal training. I don't know what's going on, but it's weird. I do not like Ruthie as a character. I think the actress did a good job. I just do not like the character. She is annoying. She seems very self-righteous at times. Very, I'm better than you. And just, it doesn't come across well. I do not like her. And, like, they try to redeem her, but I don't think it works. I don't think it pays off, personally. So the bar fight happens, and then everybody ends up leaving, except Lobo. Lobo's there. This is how we meet Lobo. He is also looking for, well, he's not looking for Krem, but he's looking for Krem's people. I guess there's some kind of beef there. Oh, I guess Lobo's a bounty hunter. He's looking for the bounty on one of them, so they do end up getting their Kara at one point. Ruthie overhears Lobo asking the barkeeps about finding Krem and his people. And she's like, I'm gonna go with him. And Kara's just like, that is the worst idea you could do. And Ruthie doesn't. And Kara ends up stepping in and pretending to be a very Valley Girl. And she's like, oh my god, we're just here from, like, Los Angeles. And we're totally touring the universe. She does a good, like, Valley Girl kind of ditzy blonde really well. And it's really funny. Because later on in the scene, she's like, oh, hey, you're the ditz from the bar. Funny, that's what I've been calling you. And Lobo's just like, touche. I love the dynamic. I'd love to see more of Lobo and Kara working together because I think the dynamic would be really funny, and I would much rather see them together than Kara and Ruthie. Ruthie brought down the movie for me. They do get their information from the barkeeps after Lobo leaves. They go back to the barkeep's house, and they're like, yeah, I know, my husband knows, the wife is just like, yeah, my husband knows a guy that can get you the information and everything. Turns out they're selling the girls to Krem to get their daughter back, who Krem took. But before that, we get Kara telling Ruthie about how Krypton didn't disappear in a day, essentially. So we know about Krypton, like, the core failing. And I think that's when Clark gets sent to Earth, is in that first disaster. But there is this small bubble that ends up getting force fielded and shielded, and at least some of Krypton lives on for a while. And that was 8 years before Kara was born. Then you see Kara kind of going through life, and she's like, yeah, life was good. And then it wasn't good. Because apparently when the core ruptured on Krypton, it exposed kryptonite. And the soil kind of got poisoned through that. So a lot of food and just everything in their little force field bubble that they have been living on has been poisoned, and a lot of the citizens of Krypton are dying of kryptonite poisoning. Her mom is one of them. Her dad, who was the brother to Clark's dad, found his brother's blueprints for the escape pod that they put Clark in as a baby, and he redesigns it, making it big enough for Kara to escape. But Kara doesn't want to leave. She wants to be there with her people and die with her people. Also, at her mom's funerals, where she finds Krypto, he's just digging through bones. He's just a stray dog on the planet. Points for him to making it into this force field. He is a puppy, so points to his parents or parents' for surviving and getting into the force field. Yeah, well, Krypto's there. So she and Krypto they do end up finally getting into the spaceship, or not spaceship, the escape pod, and they do end up going to Earth. The spacesuit that her dad puts her in to travel is really weird. I don't like it. But she does land on Earth. She lands, like, very close to Superman's Fortress of Solitude, which that's just convenient, because I don't think they really planned for where Clark was gonna land on Earth to begin with. So I don't know how they figure out where she would land on Earth. So it's just convenient that she landed so close to where her cousin spends time. I guess he knew she was coming. To be fair, okay, that could be because he's monitoring through his Fortress of Solitude with the robots and everything. So he might have noticed that and then figured out. Still, there's some weird, like, logistical points that they're kind of empty. Plot holes. He takes her in. She lives on Earth for a while. I think she's like 13. Well, probably not 13. She looks young. She and Krypto live on Earth for a while. And I don't know how she gets the spaceship to start traveling the worlds, the galaxies. She does. Okay, but now we're back. She is now wondering. The flashback's over. She's told Ruthie this, and Ruthie's just like, oh. So, yeah. Kara has some pent-up frustration because she's the only one. Well, not the only one of her kind left, but, like, essentially, she doesn't have a home anymore. She doesn't have people besides Clark. And her and Clark aren't really the same. As she states, as we see in the promo, Clark sees the good in people. Yeah, he does. Superman he's just a good guy. Where Kara says she sees the truth. And my interpretation of that is she can see the good in people, but she also sees that people are flawed. How their flaws perpetuate into their personality and can ruin their lives and all that. That's kind of my interpretation of that statement. But she's not kind of sus because the people that she's been expecting to show up to tell them where to go to find Krem haven't, and so she's gonna go ask the couple what's going on. And they give her some tea. She's a little sus because it's just like they're acting a little weird. The couple. The tea is spiked. I even wrote in here, I'm like, she's giving tea. I'm like, it's probably spiked. My next note, it was spiked. Yeah, no, it just, I'm like, I don't trust this situation. Like, it was a little predictable, but, like, still, it makes sense. It's spiked with the same poison that was in that Krypto got shot with. I don't know how she learns this, but she's just like, do you have milk? she starts drinking milk because it'll coat the lining of her stomach, and then she starts trying to throw up, and she does throw up, and I think that gets the poison out of her. She's fine. It also could be slightly once she gets enough about that, like the power of the yellow sun can kind of just cure her enough from that point forward. I don't know. But the couple, they just want their daughter back, which I respect. Yeah, nobody ever stays put when they're told to. Krem and them do show up. They're trying to fight Kara, and they expected Kara to be drugged, not able to fight back. She clearly is, because the poison didn't really work on her because she's smart. She ends up taking Ruthie. She puts her on a roof or something, and she tells Ruthie, "Stay here. I will deal with this situation. You just need to stay here and stay out of trouble." Why does nobody ever listen when they're told to stay somewhere in movies? Like, I understand wanting to help and wanting your revenge, but at the same time, this isn't the time, Ruthie. There's a bunch of other things going on. You do not have the upper hand in this situation. Ruthie is an idiot, in my opinion. I hate her. It scenes like this that really make me mad. Because it's just like, yeah, no, the smartest thing Ruthie could have done was stay put, which she doesn't. Why doesn't she stay put? I don't know. She's a self-entitled little brat, in my opinion. Lobo shows up, and this is where we get the line about, "Hey, you're the ditz from the bar." He's there for one of Krem's men, not Krem himself. And somebody brings down a bunch of the pods from the ship. It's probably Kara, and frees a bunch of children. Little girls, one of which is the daughter of the barkeeps. Don't be too happy, they die pretty quickly after that. They do get reunited. They are killed almost immediately after that by Krem, because Krem sucks. Kara doesn't want Ruthie to kill, because she knows it will change you on a deeper level than just what you think it will, which, yeah, I definitely know where she's coming from. I don't, but also, like, I get where she's coming from. Yeah, murder is gonna change who you are. There's no way to deny that fact. The two fight, and Kara's just like, "I am done helping you. I'm doing this on my own. You can find your own way to get to Krem and kill him yourself. I just want the antidote for my dog. I just want to save my dog and go back to being drunk and miserable alone. Go away." She flies up into space, like out of the atmosphere, and she just screams her feelings out. She screams into the void. And in space, you can't hear it. But damn, that must have felt really good. I feel like every place of business, especially places where you work, like customer service or retail or anything like that, they need a dedicated room. It's fully soundproof, where an employee can go for like 5 minutes, just scream their heart out after annoying customers. Like, I have worked retail. Never again. Well, maybe. Depending, if it's the right place, I probably could, but unlikely. She does find the guy who she saw the husband barkeep talk to who was going to find Krem, help them find Krem. And he does help her get there. He's just like, you just gotta wear the bag. Here's the thing. She has x-ray vision. That bag ain't doing shit. That bag ain't doing shit to help her not see. She can totally see where she's going if she really wanted to. And they take her to the planet where Krem has his ship parked. And this planet has 2 different suns. When they land, it is a green sun, which is essentially kryptonite. I'm very intrigued by this. I didn't know we had green suns. I guess there's radio. I want to know what other color suns are out there now and how they affect the super people. Are there blue suns? Purple suns? White suns? I'm very intrigued now. I want to know more. But there's a green sun, and yet Kara ain't doing great. But Ruthie's there because of course Ruthie's there. Of course Ruthie tagged along. Because at one point they had gone shopping and she got this weird little spacesuit thing that kind of just, you poke a button on a necklace thing and it poof, and you're kind of in a bubble. It's not the most flattering spacesuit, but it's very funny. She used that to hitchhike on the ship and survive in space. She does, and she gets Kara to a cave, which is trying to get her out of the, like, direct light of the green sun. Kara isn't doing great at all. She is essentially dying because green sun. She asks Ruthie for water. Ruthie goes to get her water, and she sees some of Krem's people in the lake. And then she gets captured. Oh, this is when we see, Kara and Clark's meeting. We find out Clark likes bowling. And that's, like, the most, like, that makes the most sense to me. I'm like, yeah, I can definitely see Clark, Superman, loving to go bowling. I wonder if he struggles to, like, do it without, like, exposing his strength. But I can see him really enjoying bowling. I can also see him loving mini golf. He does mention he likes bowling. Or that there is bowling. And I'm just like, yeah, this makes sense for this character. But I think he would enjoy mini golf. But that's just me. I love David Gordon's. I just know that. I love David Gordon's sweat as Superman. He's such a pure sweet boy here. It's so good. And Crypto plays with pillows and feathers, and he's just chasing out feathers that have fallen fluffed out of a pillow that he like ripped into. Oh, it's such a sweet thing. Ruthie got Kara her suit back off of her ship, and she's like, I brought this for you, and she's like, that's not gonna, Kara's like, that's not gonna help me get better, but thank you, I guess. And then she's kidnapped. Hey, guess what? Lobo is also captured. We don't know when, or, well, I guess why is just, he's Lobo, and he's, yeah, tracks. Ruthie has some food in herself when Crumb comes to visit, and he starts eating it. He is a good villain. He's well written. I hate him. He's so skeezy. There's just something really skeezy about him. There's nothing pervy or like inherently like uncomfortable and like a sexual. There's just something about him where you're just something about you ain't right. She does end up tricking somebody into getting her out of the cell, and she knocks them out. She gets free. She does free Lobo. She does release him as well, because she almost didn't, but she does. She's like, all right, fine. And then we see the green sun setting, back with Kara, and the yellow sun rises, and she starts healing. She has suited up now, because Ruthie has been sneaking around and is almost about to do something. I don't know what she's about to do, but Krem realizes she's there, because, yeah, I really hate him. But hey, guess what? Kara's there. She's in her suit. The colors, as Clark says, to help people know that we're the same. We're here to help. There's a good cover of the song The Middle by Jimmy Eat World. Is it Jimmy Eat World? Yeah, it's Jimmy. I don't know who does the cover, but it is a good cover of it as Kara fights. And Ruthie, once again, Ruthie's just kind of standing there and watching all the fighting go down. Lobo does take out a few guys, but not really. He just kind of gets his bike and leaves after he gets his bike. But Ruthie just kind of ends up watching Kara just kick ass. Like, she is powerful. She is strong. She is Supergirl. Ruthie at one point does question why she's called Supergirl, not Superwoman. And I think it's just because Supergirl rolls off the tongue better. Yeah, I don't actually know why, but I prefer, even if I had to choose, I'd go Supergirl over Superwoman. You think Supergirl just feels right. It's the right amount of syllables. Anything else has too many syllables. Kara pretty much, she frees the women that were stuck in Crum's ship, and they help her take some people out. Ruthie tries to fight. She maybe punches one guy. She doesn't kill anybody. She doesn't take anybody out. Kara's taking out guys right and left and every which way. And they get Crumb down. And Ruthie goes over and she's holding her sword to his neck. And she is going to kill him. And Kara comes and talks her out of it. She does not want that on Ruthie's conscience. She doesn't want Ruthie to have to live with knowing that she killed somebody. And I respect that. And Lobo's watching, and I think he's proud that he talked her down. But he also sees that after Ruthie walks away, Kara kills him herself. And she gets the antidote for Crypto. Obviously, that's part of why she kills Crypto. She's like, this is for my dog. And this is, I don't remember who the other stabbing it was for. It's one stab in the heart and one stab in the neck with the sword. So she kills Grim instead of Ruthie, which, fair. I think that was the right call to have Kara kill him. But they get the antidote, and they get it back to Crypto, and he's fine. He's good. He's a good boy. One of my favorite lines from Superman is when he's talking about the dog, and Clark's just like, he's not even a good dog. That's not the exact line, but like that's the gist of the line. That is my favorite line of that movie. He's not even a good dog. Love it. As they're leaving, Ruthie is now going to live with her aunt, I guess. They go back to the planet where, I guess, Ruthie is from. Kara, despite really not wanting to, does end up inviting her, like, I guess along to celebrate the rest of her birthday week. But not for, like, ever, because next we see her on Earth in Clark's apartment. She has returned to Earth. And Crypto's causing problems in Clark's kitchen. He's eating chocolate, and she's just like, yeah, I'm probably going to stick around on Earth for a little bit. And I am very excited to see how that plays out in future movies. And yeah, that was Supergirl. There were no post-credit scenes. Really disappointing. I would have liked to see either a tease of the next DC hero that we're going to see a movie from, or even the next Superman movie. I don't know who we'd get next. Also, questions for you guys. Since we're kind of rebooting the DC universe here, who would you guys cast as Wonder Woman now? Because we might get a new Wonder Woman movie with a new actress. I don't know who I would cast, actually. Like, personality-wise and vibes-wise, I see Natalie Dyer doing it. I think she'd be good. I don't know who I would cast, because it's a matter of pairing the right personality type to somebody who has at least the height and who can act. It's questionable whether or not Gal Gadot can act. or Gal Gadot. I don't know how you pronounce it. I also would have thought at one point, this is a little headcanon of mine, because in the Superman movie, Krypto has on his little super dog cape, as we see here, his little cape. And I want to imagine that, because we also know that Kara leaves Krypto with Clark occasionally to go do her own thing and party. So I just imagine that Superman has a bunch of these little capes that he gives Krypto every time Krypto comes to stay with him. And Kara's just like, I do not like the cape. And she destroys it at the end of each of Clark. But next time Clark's just like, I got another one for you, buddy. he just has like a backlog, a storage, like container full of little capes for the dog. It's a very funny thought. It's very cute. Also, I definitely think Kara could kick Clark's ass if it came down to it. But that's just my thoughts. I liked the movie. I did. I thought Millie Alcock was a really good Supergirl. Despite hating the character of Ruthie, I really liked Eve Ridley. And she pulled off the kind of stuck-up, prissy little ass bitch that Ruthie felt like she was. Did not like that character. Really, just no. I liked Lobo. Just my most fun. Krem was a villain that I could do without, but that's not true. I hated the character so much. He's just, something about him just wasn't right. So I'm glad we're not gonna see him in any future movies. Also, I just don't know what else you could do with his character at this point. He did his thing, and now we're done. I'm gonna stop fiddling with the dog. Let's see. Any other points to note here? I like the music. Yeah, I did, sir. I did like the music. I'm very excited to see where we're gonna go with the new with James Gunn now heading DC movies. I have a lot of faith in the future for this franchise. I hope I have faith. I think there's much potential to be had here. Hi, you're back. Hi. In case anybody has been wondering, this is Jojen. Yes, he is named after a character from Game of Thrones. Don't eat the cord. So yeah, that was my thoughts and my review over Supergirl. Not my most cohesive review, because I did end up spending most of the time actually paying attention to the movie than taking as many notes as usual. So that did kind of affect my note-taking. We'll see what happens for the next one. I don't know what my next movie will be. Possibly the live-action Moana. Very likely that. And then it's going to be The Odyssey, which I am very excited. It's Christopher Nolan. I could do with or without Matt Damon. I think it's going to be a phenomenal movie. Does Christopher Nolan have a bad movie? I don't know. Probably. Everybody has at least one in their catalog, I feel. Until then, though, I've been Onyx. You've been fabulous. And you'll be even more fabulous if you like, comment, and subscribe. But until next time, my friends. Bye!